Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview on NewsX. We are in conversation today with film producer Siddharth Roy Kapur, and let me in fact now introduce him as National Award-winning film producer Siddharth Roy Kapur. Siddharth, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, Uday.
Let me ask you on that, because it's truly special not just to win one national award but to win two for your latest projects, your recent projects, the Gujarati film Cello Show, or Last Film Show as it's known in English. So how special was it when you heard the announcement just a few days back?
It was incredibly special. To be conferred a national award is always a huge honor because it's something that I think the whole film industry around the country, and that I include all the regional cinemas as well as Hindi cinema, look at as being the ultimate acknowledgement of the work that we do. Because it is an official Government of India award, so it holds that much more relevance and credibility. So I was, thrilled and over the moon, and the whole cast and the entire crew was thrilled as well.
Okay. Also another accolade coming in for your young child actor. How special was that, given the fact that he was so raw, when he entered this project and from such a humble background, but he's truly become an international star and now an award-winning one.
Yes, you're right. I mean, really, special kid. He was not even an actor really when he started out and he auditioned for Pan Nalin. But Nalin saw a little bit of his own childhood, I think, in Bhavin, and he felt that there was a certain element of irreverence, humor, just a carrot-am attitude about what the adults are thinking and feeling, and I'm just going to do my thing. And that's exactly what he wanted in this child in the film, and I think Bhavin really embodied that. So the casting gods were smiling down on us when Bhavin entered the audition, and for him then to have had the journey of going on to Hollywood at the point of time that we were promoting the film there, and then of course for the film to be shortlisted at the Academy Awards and for Bhavin to be a part of that entire process as well. He's been on a global journey, and he's come from a small village in Gujarat, and I mean he says this is in his interviews. He was missing his cows back home. So to come from that humble background to then
Yes.
be exposed to the world in the way that he has been, I think that's just a part of cinema.
And I think that's, that was already what was showing why this film was so special. The fact that you were, our international feature films international entry into the Oscars. You were, of course, also shortlisted, only I think the fourth Indian film to have made this shortlist at the Oscars. So that clearly already was beginning to show signs why this film was so special, isn't it?
It was. Just the fact that it was this small film coming out of India that was able to make it to the final 15 films from around the world without really the backing of a large studio in the US, because there is a certain amount of promotion that happens for movies to get recognized and seen there. But it just organically happened that the Academy members who were part of the jury of the International Feature Film category took to the movie as they did and, voted it into the top 15. Of course, we were disappointed not to make it to the final 5, but, it was a step in the right direction. And as you said, fourth film in the history of Indian cinema to get that far is not too bad a record.
No doubt. What explains the decision? Obviously, that decision has paid off now, but what was the, the reason for you to actually back a regional film, back a Gujarati film like this one?
Just the fact that I find that the stories that come from the depths of the hearts and souls of a director or a writer are always the ones that you should back, because there's an authenticity and a purity of emotion to that storytelling that just can't be matched by anything else that is synthetic or manufactured or is made with the intention of putting a project together. This story really came from Pan Nalin's own childhood. It was his own tribute to the filmmakers that inspired him, his tribute to his humble beginnings in a small village, dying to watch a movie and not being able to, and having this one ramshackle cinema hall being the only place that he could go and find refuge and lose himself in the world of cinema. He was telling a story that was really core to who he was. And just the fact that, one was able to grasp that and able to understand that this is something that is going to be very special. One could see it in just the way that he wanted to tell it.
Yes. Speaking about the Academy now, you've also been invited. Is that correct? So how big an honor for you personally is that too?
It's a huge honor. I think it's great that so many Indians are now being inducted into the academy. It's a huge honor for me to be asked to be a member of the academy. I've grown up waking up at some unearthly hour in the morning on a Monday, sometime early in the year, to watch the Academy Awards all my life, and then to actually be part of to be a part of that very academy, of course, is a huge honor. So I was thrilled when I got the call.
No, indeed, it is a big milestone, of course, for you, but also for all Indians, Siddharth. But just talking about your journey, how has it been ever since, you took this decision to go independent after, being at the helm of such big production houses, such big companies? How is the journey for you with Roy Kapur Films been after you took that call to go independent?
It's been a wonderful journey. It's been one, a journey where we've put a really great team together. I give a lot of credit to the team who've actually stuck it out with me from the time that we started out the venture, and it's the same core team that's, still in the saddle. It's great to be able to be as closely involved in the nuts and bolts of the productions as we are now. As you said, being at the helm of large organizations sometimes removes you from the nuts and bolts of the creative process. So because as much as you would like to be involved, there are times when you just don't have the time to be involved. But now that one is so intricately involved in every production that we put out, there's a tremendous sense of joy and satisfaction in that. So I'm thoroughly enjoying this innings.
Now, I just want to quickly talk to you about one of your projects, which obviously was also very special because there was a second season which also came for it, Rocket Boys. Now, we as a channel at NewsX also do a lot of programming, on prime time as well, on space, which is often not done on news TV in India, and should be. You also decided to, back a project like Rocket Boys, again, a tale which some knew but not the entire country. So tell us about, doing Rocket Boys, and then, of course, following that with Rocket Boys 2 and the kind of great reviews and response you got for it.
So it was just one of those serendipitous moments where, a young writer, Abhay Korane, walked into the door and told us the story of Homi Bhabha and Vikram Sarabhai, which, of course, we've heard of growing up, but had no idea that their lives were so intricately interwoven, and the dreams and ambitions that they had for a modern India, while they were both great patriots, the ambitions and the dreams that they had were very different in terms of the vision that they saw for the use of atomic energy and nuclear energy. The fact that Vikram Sarabhai was all about India's space program and making India self-reliant when it came to being able to go out there and explore, universe. And for Homi Bhabha, it was about, having a great defense system and being able to use atomic and nuclear energy for India's defenses. And these two great men had these two such differing ideologies, but their personal lives were so greatly interwoven, and they were such wonderful friends. They had these incredible experiences, together. And that told at the backdrop of a young India, just coming into its own. It was just such a compelling story that we knew we had to tell it. And so that's where the journey began. Then of course, Nikhil Advani and team came on board and, added a lot to the creative process and helped hugely with the production. And then Sony Live as a platform. I mean, huge credit to them for actually seeing the potential in a subject like this and backing it the way they did.
Yes, and then I'm sure you must have been extremely thrilled with the ISRO feat that we all saw as well last week, Chandrayaan 3's landing on the moon. What was
Absolutely.
your reaction to that?
To see the lander go out and and it was called the Vikram lander, just felt so incredible, because that's just such a ode to Vikram Sarabhai and to the man who started it all.
Yes.
And, there's a huge sense of satisfaction that we all feel as Indians. But I guess for the whole team of Rocket Boys, it was almost like seeing the culmination of the life of this great man that we've, the story that we try to tell, and the sort of culmination of his life's work. So it was a very, very, beautiful moment as it happened.
Absolutely. My final question to you before we let you go, Siddharth, on what's coming up next. Now, such success with your previous projects already. What's next on the slate?
We've got a film called Pippa, which is based around the 71 Bangladesh war and the story of siblings on the front lines. That'll release in a few months. We've got a film called Wo Ladki Hai Kahan with Taapsee Pannu and Prateek Gandhi. Really fun film. That's going to come out soon too. There's a film we're doing for Disney Hotstar, which was earlier called Bas Karo Aunty, but there's a new title which we'll be announcing soon. That releases end of September. And then there's a great thriller with Shahid Kapoor that goes onto the floors in October. So there's a lot of work happening there. And on the series front, there are subsequent seasons of a few of the shows that we've done already,
Right.
and a few new shows that we're cooking too.
Okay.
And sorry, last but not the least, we've got, we took the rights to The Anarchy by William Dalrymple, which is the story of the East India Company
Right.
in India, and we're setting that up as a global production.
Oh, that'll be very interesting too. Okay, so a lot cooking, a lot still to come. So clearly, we haven't heard the last of this film show of Roy Kapur Films, but certainly last film show, Cello Show, is making us all proud, and you too. So once again, congratulations on that, Siddharth, and thank you so much for joining us today on this interview.